clicked as she broke Webster's hold and stepped deliberately between him and her husband. Rourke, Webster and I are in the middle of a meeting and a professional disagreement. I don't think so. Go find something to do elsewhere. Insult worked hard to kick fear aside, but didn't manage the job. She felt her muscles begin to tremble and added the image of capping off the evening by arresting her husband for murder. Get a grip. She did her best to plant her boots. You've mistaken the situation here. No, he hasn't. Not on my end. Webster moved away from Eve. You want to do this here? He said with a nod toward Rourke. Or outside? Rourke smiled, much Eve thought, like a wolf might before a kill. Here and now. They leapt at each other. Charged, she would think later when her brain engaged again, like a couple of rams in rutting season. For a moment, she was too stunned to do more than goggle. She watched Webster fly, come heavily down on a table which crashed under the weight. He was up quickly. She'd give him that, bleeding. Fists flew with the ugly sound of bone against bone. A lamp shattered. She was shouting. She could hear herself calling out in a voice that seemed oddly unlike her own. At wit's end, she drew her weapon, hastily checked to ensure it was on lowest stun, then fired a stream between them. Webster's head whipped around and shot, but Rourke didn't so much as flinch, and his fist, already swinging, smashed into Webster's face. Another table went, splintering into toothpicks, and this time Webster stayed down, or would have if Rourke hadn't leaned over and hauled him up by the collar. Rourke! Her hand steady. Eve kept her weapon trained. That's enough. Let him go, or I'll stun you, I swear.
1, 2, 3, and then I'm
His eyes
4.
met hers.
I'm the whole crew. I'm
Hot
the
enough to
oldest
burn.
brother. Top
You released Webster, so the half-conscious man crumpled into a ball. Even as Rourke started toward Eve, Somerset slid into the room. I'll just show your guest out.
Master degree.
Do that.
Faster
Rourke said,
degree.
without taking his eyes from Eve's.
Where were you?
And closed the door.
Mitty gotta spin like a
Stun me. He murmured in silver when he was a foot away.
1, 2, 3.
She backed up, all but hearing her nerves fray. Sound like dry paper tearing. If you don't calm down, yes, I'm going to see how bad he's hurt. You're not. No. That you needed. Stun me then,
Faster degree.
And she heard the alleyways of Dublin in his voice. Do it. She heard the doors close, the lock split. Fear had her by the throat, infuriating her even as she took another step in retreat. There was nothing going on here. It's insulting for you to think there was. Darling Eve, if I thought there'd been anything on your part going on here, he wouldn't have left breathing. There was no change in his expression as his hand snaked out and knocked the weapon from hers.
And that's it.
Yet you stood between us. To try to avoid this, she threw out her arms. This testosterone explosion. Damn it, you wrecked my place and assaulted an officer, and over nothing. Over my having a professional disagreement with a colleague. A colleague who was once a lover. And what I walked in on was personal.
Notification.
Okay, all right, maybe. But that's no excuse. If I jumped every one of your old